Oh boy. Cars just keep giving, you know. It's always that way. When you don't need a car to break down, they break down. So Hans and Mama ain't driving this no more with no AC. So I'm after that box right there. I'm gonna get the evaporator out of there for the AC unit and pressure test it. I'm having a hard time finding a leak. So I'm gonna pull the evaporator out, pressure test that in some water, see if I can see any bubbles. And I'm gonna pull the condenser out, I guess, and pressure test that up front. And check the hoses and all that stuff. I don't see any wet anywhere. But absolutely no Freon when I broke the lines loose today. So we definitely have an issue somewhere in here, I think. I smelt it when I recharged it, so that's usually the evaporator, condenser, whatever it is, evap. So saw Greg Porter's video on his exhaust and stuff. This is definitely not a John Kerry weekend. Kids and the wife are at Disney, enjoying the rain there. And that wounded my Volkswagen. Easy Jeezy cursed me. I got an oil pump leak. Oil pumps never leak, but mine does. One of the studs is coming out of the block, so I'm gonna have to pull the pump out and fix that. So that's gonna be fun. And that's my only car right now, so got some ribs going in there. Ribs and a burger. But not a lot going on today. You know, trying to deal with the rain. Got my hood sanded down in here, and had some issues with that. I'm gonna have to repaint that. So sometimes it happens, you know. And this guy was rushing me. Now he's not going to be leaving till next week. And had some solvent popping down in that corner there. So I had a little run. I'm not good at sanding runs out. It's not something I get a lot of. So yeah, I totaled that corner. So I have to put some primer on that. And then I got some pinholes in my bodywork. I saw them somewhere. I'm gonna have to wet it down. There's two of them right there, two little pinholes. So I'm gonna have to fill those in with some combi putty and sand those down. So I sanded it completely flat with some 1000 grit, and it's got a little bit of peel left. I might hit it one more time with some 1000 after I prime it. Of course, I gotta prime that corner, so I'll just wait and hit that with a little 600. Prime cut the hood with a little 1000 grit. And then we'll throw a little color on the corner and re-clear the rest of the hood there. So, yeah, I hate to get a run, but I had a combination of runs. Well, the one big run there and a little peely because it was 100 degrees and I was trying to clear that. So, yeah, so we'll get to do that again. And yeah, so that's what's going on. I saw Greg talking about his exhaust system and how to come up with a compression ratio. I remember on your motor, I had it figured out with the 180 spacers. We were down to like, I think 7.8 to 1. I think it's as high as 9 to 1. The compression's a little high because we didn't put the spacers under the barrels. We could still do that. Have to buy longer push rods and a geometry shim kit. The longer push rods and the 180 barrel spacers will put you back to 7.5. I don't think the head's been cut. I still have the factory lugs on the heads. This head doesn't have any lugs on it, so I can't show you that. The compression doesn't necessarily make the heat. My blue car has high compression. I didn't buy any barrel spacers for the blue one out here, and we're running 9.5 to 1 on that one, so it's sort of on the high side. I do run premium fuel, which is something that's a must. You got to run the 93 octane. As far as jet size has a lot to do with size of the port. you know, the size of the carburetor you're using. And every motor is different. There's not a chart that you can look at. There are charts that'll get you close. I want to say that those K-Roms have like a 140 main jet. I would try like a 145, 150. They usually say go up 2 sizes, go up or down. Go up and then go down. I believe going up is definitely going to increase the fuel, which should cool the motor a little more. And when you put the merge collector with the ink will leak tubes, you're definitely going to have to fatten the motor up. It's going to be lean with the better header. So I was talking to Scooter the other day. He said, you know, the size of the carburetors, probably around a 145, 150, somewhere in there. So you might want to, you know, pop one of the tops off the carburetors there and see what main jet's in it. And jets are pretty cheap. You know, you can order 2 sizes bigger and see what that does. I'm pretty sure once you go to that merge collector with the equal length tubing, it's going to scavenge the fuel better and make the motor lean. So the jets can increase the temperature quite a bit. You know, if it's lean, it will definitely show it on the temperature gauge. And without a gauge or cylinder head temperature gauge, something that can give you an actual number, it's going to be hard to tune the car. All motors have to be tuned. Scooter just built a 1776. It's got some, you know, welded up heads on it, and engine 5/8 merged exhaust with DC and F Webers. I think they're 42s or 44s, I'm not sure. And he's having trouble with the jet combination, you know. So it doesn't matter how sharp you are, you know, sometimes it's just a learning curve on what the motor wants as far as main jet. You know, that's something that you have to tune. It's part of the process. So I'd pull the top off one of those carburetors, take a look and see what size jet you got in there, and bump the jet up. If you don't have any jets or you can't get any from your local shop, just give me a call. I can throw some of those in an envelope. The jets aren't very expensive, you know. It's easy thing to do. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, with the muffler, how it affects that motor. As far as the bore and the stroke, you know, we know it's a 94 piston. You know, the crank wasn't marked, and the motor is a little wide, you know, but I think that's more from the trouble I was having was because of the spacers that we didn't end up using, and the rocker arms. When you use the swivel feet adjusters, it puts the rocker further away from the valve stem, so it messes with the geometry on the motor. You can check the stroke similar to how you did your 1600. You know, that was pretty accurate, you know, 69. I don't know if you have a metric dial indicator there, or if you're converting the inches over. But, you know, if it's a 78 crank, which it would either be a 78 or a 69, it would be 2185. So you're getting up there pretty good size in motor. The heads are ported pretty good on that combination, and it's a 110 cam, Engel 110, I do believe. So you know, it's a pretty hopped up little motor. It's a basic motor, but it is going to require some jet in it for sure. It'll be probably in the 150 range, 145, and all I had to work with was the jets that you had. So, you know, depending on what size motor the guy had and what kind of cylinder heads he had, all that stuff, what exhaust, all that will determine, you know, if it's even close on your car with the stuff that he gave us. So, we got a cat here wanting to say hi. But anyway, hopefully you get that heat issue under control. And you know, we don't know if it's the cylinder head's running hot or just your oil too. That's the other thing. Should probably try to get you a cylinder head gauge, or not that much. And I'll look around and see if I got an extra one. But that's the final say. You know, cylinder head is what you want to keep cool. That's kind of life of the motor. You know, the heads are baking, constantly making the valves tight, and the heads are coming loose, and that's something that needs to get under control. As far as cranking compression, I don't know if that'll tell you anything. You know, cranking compression can be affected by the overlap on the cam. That's when the exhaust valve and the intake valve are open at the same time. It bleeds off cylinder pressure. So sometimes with a performance cam, you know, you have lower cranking pressure than you would with a stock cam. It's more designed to fill the cylinder and not have overlap with the intake and the exhaust valve being open at the same time. And a lot of that has to do with the lobe separation on the cam and the duration of the camshaft. I know that a 110 has a little bit of duration in it. So, and the lobe separation is where they place these lobes in relationship. So in between here is the overlap section. And that's greater on one cam to the next, you know. So no two cams will be the same. You can see this one has way more. This is a FK89. It's a huge cam. And I think that's a 120. So yeah, I hope that helps you. Might have to put the 1600 in my car and fix that oil pump stud. I don't know if I can do that in the car or not. So yeah, I pulled up and I had a little puddle under the car, and then when I went to look under the back there, it was puking out of the oil pump. So hopefully it's not too bad. I tried to tighten it up and the one stud's just pulling out of the case. So that's never good. So we'll have to fix that. We'll make a video, of course. And probably the stud that Andy put in when he was here, me and Canadian Catalyst put this motor together. We were sort of in a hurry. So it runs excellent. Just got that oil leak issue. I took the temperature dipstick out today and put a regular dipstick in it to see if that would curb it a little bit. And yeah, so yeah, that's what's going on. This is probably way too long, so let me shut up, go ahead and upload this. And you can always call me on the jet thing, you know. You got to remember, you got extra large venturis on those carburetors, so they're moving a lot of airflow. Ported cylinder heads, probably about 9-to-1 compression. And I suspect I think the motor will come around quite a bit when you change the exhaust. It's going to be probably a bigger change than putting the balance tube on when you put the balance tube on. So if you are scared on doing the carburetors, it's nothing major. You can even leave the fuel line. Well, yours is hard line, so you'll have to take the line off, I believe. If you have the you know, the barbed line like I have, you can just take the top off, lay it off to the side there, pull your air cleaner off. And that's the other thing that you really need to try. Take the air cleaners off and drive it without the air cleaners on. I don't like those air cleaners, they're way too small, and we went into that a little bit, but I don't know if you got that part. But I'd take the air cleaners off, drive it with no air cleaners, and see if that changes the temperature of the motor any before you change the jets. And I suspect those air cleaners are going to become problematic when you enhance the exhaust system, for sure. So I don't know if you caught that video. I actually put the smaller air cleaners on this motor, and it fattened it up, or it acted like it had a choke on it, and you know, it wouldn't run really good. So I had to go back to these big ones. I used the smaller ones on my 56 oval window, and ran into that problem. And we had Mike down there at Scooters. He flowed the filters and checked the square area, and the area was quite a bit smaller on the smaller filters. But yeah, so that's another thing, you know, you just do a little test hit, you know, pull the filters off, drive around the block, see if it affects the temperature. Of course, the other thing is probably think about getting a cylinder head gauge so you can actually see the temperature and not have to count on that light to come on, you know. You'll be able to tune it a little easier with a cylinder head temperature gauge. All right, let me get back to barbecuing, and we'll talk to you guys a little later.